What is good, my folks? Welcome back to another episode of the 76 hour podcast. Excuse me, long time no talk. We have a jam-packed episode for you guys tonight. It's been about like what 5, 6 weeks since Boys last talked. We all know why we like took a small break because your boys are some frauds. But it's all good. It is another year and another chance to get our heart broken. Welcome back to the 76 hour podcast. Cue the intro music. Again, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody. Welcome back to another episode of the 76 hour podcast. I'm not sure which episode this joint is specifically, but it's around 11, 12, or 13. I should know. But unfortunately, I don't because once again, we have not done this in like over a
It's
month.
been a
But
minute, bro. It's
it's
been a
been
minute.
yes, sir. But we are back and better than ever. It's your host Yin. You already know what we do here. And I am joined by my main man's Nizzy Now Jack Stacks and a new guest to the program. Now, how are you doing tonight, my brother?
Yo,
Doing okay, bro. Chilling. Same old, same old. But I can't complain, bro.
Mm.
You already know.
And we also have a guest tonight. If you would like to introduce yourself, as well as um, put out your actual socials. Anything you like want folks to like know now is your time, my good sir. What's up with you?
what to do? My name's Brad. Personal basketball. A good basketball mentality, a good basketball intelligence. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
A person that trying to change the narrative that actually knows the game, the ins and the out of the game. Speaking for a player first mentality. Y'all can follow me on the gram, BGN Lifestyle. All fully sports. That's what I talk on that page. So you already know my name's Brad again.
Appreciate you for pulling up to the pod.
Sure.
So there has been a lot going on the last few weeks since our boys unfortunately lost in the second round of the NBA playoffs, game 7 against the dreaded Boston Celtics. Um, One, we got a new coach, Nick Nurse, former rival of the guys, and a few breaking news today. It was told throughout the actual NBA universe that James Harden, the beard, number one on our team, decided to opt in to obtain his, I believe, what, like 38.5 million bucks to stay with the actual team. This was like news to like most folks just because we thought that either well, not even but mainly we would have to sign James back to a long term deal because we had no other option. As we all know, um, the actual trade asset baron is dry, because I guess we like traded four mans to begin with. We gave up Ben, we gave up um Andre Drummond and Seth Curry plus picks to obtain James. And that was essentially our like last chess move to actually win a chip. Apparently not. Um Now all of this culminates into the Sixers and James Harden trying to find trade partners so that James doesn't have to play with the team next year. Which is very interesting because what that tells me is Harden is not getting the pay he expects to anywhere else on the open trade mar- m- mar- market. Um, it's also interesting because he still wants to sign to a contender, but for some reason he's saying that Philly isn't the best fit for him. And it's also interesting to like me, because once again, our boy James is looking out for the franchise and saying that he can be used for a sign and trade to give us assets back, to give us another chance at this thing moving forward. So I guess I'll start with Nile since I've been talking for the last 6 minutes. What's your thoughts on like this like whole James Harden saga, and why do you think he is looking out for the squad, opting into his contract, and, and like saying it's cool, trade me for the pieces that y'all need to continue?
Um, well, first of all, I was kind of shocked because with a lot of the reports that had came out, they were saying that um that the Sixers really kind of wanted to keep James, and that was kind of the mentality going forward, and they were going to try to, figure out a deal that was going to work out for both sides. So when I saw the report come out today, I was kind of shocked, but I also feel very indifferent as well because it's like, I mean, initially I wanted the Sixers to keep James because kind of
Mm,
similar to like what you said, because it's like, well, what better option is there? Is Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid and a bunch of role players going to be enough to get us over the hump, right? But now kind of interested in seeing who we're going to get back. The Clippers and I believe the Knicks were like the two front runners for trade destinations for Harden. So um I think that the Clippers are obviously more of an attractive destination, obviously because they have PG and Kawhi.
mm,
Now, I'm once again still feeling indifferent because of the injury history, especially for Kawhi and Paul George, and especially if we're going to go deep into the playoffs, being that Joel Embiid these last couple few playoff runs has been injured. I do want us to get somebody that is going to be a little bit more reliable, but it's like at this point, it's just like, you know, it is what it is, and we just may have to just go out on a limb and just take a chance because I mean, like, what other option do we have? But
mm,
this will be a good opportunity to get like another co-star to go along with Maxi and Embiid, and maybe acquire some young talents, maybe get some draft picks because we didn't have any this year, even though we got some undrafted guys, but um yeah, I'm just really curious to see what Daryl Morey is going to do, and
uh,
see how the pieces fit moving forward. Um, I kind of do like Paul George, although I'm not really that high on him because of his injury history. But I think he would be a good complement. He stretches the floor well. Um, and I think at this point in his career, he's not really pent up on being this ball dominant kind of player anymore. He really wants to do whatever he wants to do to win a championship. So I think he would be a good fit. And maybe we can get him in a couple young pieces and see what's going to happen. But yeah, that's ultimately how I feel about it. Surprised, but kind of indifferent because I don't know what we're going to get, and I don't know
mm,
exactly how this team is going to look next year. So we'll see. I'm kind of anxious, but yeah, I mean, maybe this works out for the best because I don't want the Sixers to be playing a lot of hero basketball where it's just okay, like where like the other team goes on a run. Well, let's just give it to Joel and everybody. Let's just stand around. Like we need
and
more
watch.
ball. We need more ball movement. So,
Hmm.
hopefully this trade can help that. Once again, depends on who we get. So yeah, that's basically how I'm feeling.
What you think, Brad?
First things first, James Harden was in the best shape in his life since he came in the league. As a 33-year-old, you gotta understand that as well too. But let's be clear. Doc Rivers put James Harden in a position that he would then felt comfortable to be in.
Mm,
As you guys see as that. With James Harden, I feel as though he's trying to get a contract that he think he deserve a lot of money. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? But at this age, is he really reliable to be in a position to get that money? Do he deserve all that money? I don't think he deserved 30 plus mil per year. I think 22 or like in the 20s, in the low 20s. You know what I'm saying? But because he could still average a double double. You know what I'm saying? But his scoring went down. Excuse me. But because Doc Rivers put in a position as a traditional point guard, which is not his game. But let's be clear, once he got traded to Brooklyn, he changed his game to be a point guard when Kyrie Irving wanted to play the number 2 guard. So it's
Right.
already been changed. And nobody never put that out there, but it already been changed before he got to the 76ers. You know what I'm saying? Like people got to understand that proposition, how he played in Brooklyn. You know, and plus it fit very well when he came to the Sixers because Ben Simmons is not that type of player. He only could drive and kick out, you know what I'm saying? But the only problem he couldn't do was shooting. You know what I'm saying? And let's be clear, the 2018, like with Ben Simmons and all that, that was the best team around Ben Simmons because all he had around him was shooters.
Shooters.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It's a big difference, but no one want to put that out there. But James Harden, you know, don't forget, the Heat was the suitors as well too. So and Brian Windhorst, I probably said his last name wrong, but he's saying Dame might come to Philly or Kyrie Irving as well too. So we might got some options there at the point guard position that's more aggressive and they could play a little bit more better defense than James Harden as well too, in my opinion.
I'm definitely torn because, like, well, not torn. That's probably the actual wrong word. I'm just I, the reason why I was saying that, like, I feel as though Harden can't stay. It's like less on like him, but like more about how like and this is like actual buzzword, but the toxic mix be like between him and Embiid was never going to lead to like wins and like championships because there is no way like after seeing and like it was clear that like Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Doc Rivers team was like going to fold, but like seeing that joint live, Game 7 in the third quarter, where like Bulls just like gave up like that. That was an indictment on like all three, mainly those two, Doc. If anything, it's more so on Embiid, but like I feel as though you cannot have two losers leading your franchise. That's like not a good culture um implementation. And if we are going to, rely on Maxi going into the future, you cannot have two of your best players basically not giving a damn. And if we are going to salvage Embiid, and it's crazy that I'm like even proposing that statement. But like, if we're going to salvage him and like try to like change his outlook beyond put make beyond making him get in shape, which is what I agree with 110%. Put that man on a vegan diet. I feel as though he like needs to be surrounded by a superstar that's like not gonna let him basically just give up. And I feel as though Harden was that. Now. It is going to be hard to like um to
But
replace.
can I say something? But you can see Jokic, right? Remember he was oversized a couple of years ago. Remember during that COVID year, he just got in shape. He got so much better. And then look at him now. He won a chip.
It takes time. It definitely takes
They
time.
do.
Um. Uh. But so going back to the James point, it's like definitely going to take time. Not take. Sorry. It's definitely going to be hard to replace 20 and 10 that James gave us night after night. Um, and let's be clear, I'm a James fan, uh, especially for like what he's doing for the team and like what he did. Taking a pay cut, allowing us to get dogs. And like now him saying, "I bet you can trade me for like more pieces," and him just like winning two playoff games in the second round, like on his dolly, bro. Like, yes, the bull folded every other game, but he single-handedly basically carried this team in the second round. I ain't see Embiid do shit. Keep keeping it a buck, I ain't see Embiid, the MVP, do nothing. Harden at least got us two wins. With all that being said, I'm not sure who we can get for him. Obviously, I want PG because he's another star. It's looking like, or at least from all of the responses on like the responses on social media, we're going to get back a lot of bench pieces, ones that have expiring deals in the next 2 years, so that like allows us more flexibility going into the future with cap space. So I'm not that mad. I'm just glad that we had a chance with James, and now he's not drawing to get payback on us. So that's all I can ask for as a fan, to be honest. So if this is the last time that we talk about James, my brother, if you are watching, thank you for your time on my squad. I appreciate it immensely. Um, and I hope you get paid somewhere else because it's damn sure not here. Damn sure not, not like here.
at all.
No. Okay. So, next topic. So, as we all know, tomorrow is the start of free agency, where players who have finalized their contractual obligations on their own teams can now go out in the NBA market and try to obtain as much cash as they can from another squad. It happens every single year. So here we are again. So your Philadelphia 76ers have a few guys who will be stepping into the market. It's about four, not including James. So I'm gonna ask y'all I'm gonna ask y'all questions, or a question, a question, a simple one. What would you keep this player on the team and sign him again into the into the future? Why or why not? Shake Milton. Would y'all keep him? Yes or no, and why?
I'm gonna say, I mean, I think it's kind of time to let Shea go on his own course because I feel like he kind of wants to be in a position where he's going to get more playing time. And as you saw in the playoffs, he didn't really get that many reps. He wasn't really in the rotation like that. He's a decent player, but especially with now that we have D Anthony Melton, and assuming that he's going to be coming off the bench, during the regular season, Shake will probably get a few minutes here and there, but I just think that ultimately, we're competing for a championship. So come playoff time, he's going to be riding the bench. And he's not going to be a part of that playoff rotation. So I think that we just need to just let him go, save a couple dollars, and put that money towards, some 3-and-D guys, some wing defenders, like just people to, stretch the floor. Because obviously, in the playoffs, when once Joel touched that ball in the paint, double team, triple team, we need people to space the floor.
Yeah.
And Shake is an okay 3-point shooter, but he's not a sniper, So I would just invest that money in other assets that we need to really build that kind of championship team. And I kind of like Shake. I think he's a good change of pace kind of guard. Combo kind of player who can potentially give you a spark off the bench. But like I said, since we acquired D. Anthony Melton, who can sometimes be a good 3-point shooter, but he's a
Inconsistent. Little
yeah.
inconsistent.
But he's definitely a good defender, which we're going to
Mm.
need, being that James isn't going to be here. We definitely need that in the backcourt for sure. So I think it's probably time to let him go and just use that money elsewhere for the betterment of the team. So yeah, I would just personally let him walk.
Um, Yeah, I agree with you as well. Now, Shake never deserved it. Not me, never deserve it, but he never even earned it. You know, like he
Yeah,
never
I
earned
feel
it.
you. I feel you.
Where it come to games, um, I guess it was good. Brooklyn Nets, I think was the game we was supposed to sweep these, like actually cook these guys. When he came in the game, he never like took over the game as a point guard when he's supposed to do. You know, you was a good college basketball player in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Um,
SMU, right?
my fault, my SMU, but like
Mhm.
when you came to Sixers, did you ever actually develop your game?
Mm,
Last year, Doc Rivers, I think 2 years ago, Doc Rivers trying to improve Shake Milton's game like Lou Williams, and which he actually didn't at all. You know what I'm saying? So Doc really gave this brother a try, in which he
yeah.
didn't accept the challenge. You know, sometimes, man, he should have been traded like 2 years ago, in my opinion. You
Low
know what I'm
key.
saying? He should have been because he never
Low,
developed.
It's
He should.
time, bro. It's
Yeah, it's time.
time.
It's been time. It's
It's
low
time
key.
to
time.
rebuild a team like Houston or go to OKC. You know what I'm saying? Develop your game there when you don't
Exactly.
have the bright lights on you. That's probably what's the reason
Mm,
why. And you know what I'm saying? The bright lights really get to you. You know, for certain
no,
players. You know,
facts.
when you play for Philadelphia, you gotta have that big dog, like I'm a big guy mentality. Like you gotta talk your shit. Excuse my French, but you know what I'm saying. But like you gotta have that mentality. Like PJ Tucker gotta get on Joel Bean
No, facts,
and
bro.
not taking
Facts.
over the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you need them type of guys. And most of all, like you gotta compare Boston Celtics bench to our bench. You know what I'm saying? That's where our disadvantage was at the whole game. Our guys had to play 40 plus minutes just to win a game. And we forced game seven, you know what I'm saying? We had the chance to win it at home, but we don't trust our guys on the bench. And Shake is one of them type of players that have been there since 2018 or 20. And so he got to go.
We low key could have got better like trade value for him the year after the bubble, I think. But it's all
Mhm.
good. Thank you, Shake. You are definitely probably not going to stay. Next bull, George Niang. Stay or go. I'm mad at him, so he can go. To 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 be honest.
Um, I'm I kind of got mixed feelings about George Niang, like mainly because of that shit that he put in the playoffs where he grabbing Jalen. I'm
Bro,
like,
come
bro, what
on,
are you
dog.
doing, bro?
And like
You
Bulls
know what I'm
don't
saying? Like,
talk
what is
hey,
you like
about that too. Like low
He
key,
that,
from
like
Boston
bro?
too.
That changed the whole flow of the game,
yeah,
bro.
bro. He definitely dog.
Cause bro, we
I'm gonna
was
stop.
up after the first quarter. A lot of people, you know what I mean? Like we don't mention, and we was only like down like what 3 at halftime. We was
Mm.
very much still in that game, but like once that shit happened, Boston was like, all right, bet. You know what I'm
I bet.
saying? And start, you know what I mean? Just
Bro.
start, yo. So he is a good 3-point shooter. Obviously, he's not the best defender in the world. I would try to see if we can get somebody on the market that's that we can roughly get for around the same salary, maybe around like a 2-year deal that's a better defender. But
Mm.
um I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we kept him, but I mean, I think we should explore other options, especially people who can defend better. But if we keep him, I wouldn't be mad. It's just that, because of that shit that he pulled in the playoffs, that kind of really left a bad taste in my mouth. I think in like every Sixer fan, you know what I'm saying? Like I just really, you know what I mean? Like, because that really changed the trajectory of that game. But yeah, to answer your question, like ultimately, I think we just need to look at other options, and if there's nobody that's better, or if we can't find anybody that we can get for, I guess, around the same amount of money that he's currently making now, then okay, keep him. But definitely, I think we should keep our options open.
It's a maybe on this one. Just because he could shoot, he got a smooth jumper on a 3 pointer. You know, I think when he first got to Philly, he was trying to be a scorer when he shouldn't need to be at first. I think it took him a long time to really realize what's his role on the Sixers team. But I don't know, like Nick Nurse offense system like that. You know,
Mm.
like I don't know, like that's the plan right there. Like how he gonna fit in a Nick Nurse offensive system, which he don't use like 3 pointer type of jump shooters anyway, and he's really a 3 and 3 shooter, like not a 3 and D type of player, but in the offensive system, with you compare it with Joel Embiid, and that Doc Rivers offense system, is really ready to catch and shoot. And Nick Nurse move his players around a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that system, I don't think is not going to be a best fit for him unless they will try to find a way. But, it's a maybe on me. It's a maybe.
I feel like, and this is, he can't be like your seventh best man in the playoffs, like on your bench. I don't. I feel like if that's the like case and like you're in trouble, I also feel like he's going to command probably like what, close to 10 mil on the market. And nah, probably like 8, 7, 6. No,
I would hope
He's
so.
5. He's 5 or 4. 5 to
no,
4.
no, bro. I feel
He's
like
5 to 4 in my book.
so like we signed
Yeah.
him what for like a 2-year 9 mil deal before. I feel like
Yeah.
he's gonna come in more. So like you figure that was like what 4.5 mil.
Yeah.
He might get like 6, 7, 8, low key.
If he gets 6, if they get 7, 8, yeah, you reach as an
It's a
NBA.
reach,
Yeah.
That's a
right?
reach.
So
That's a really is a
Especially
reach.
off the shit
right,
that you
I
did
think
in the playoffs.
I think it's a 5.5 or like 5-0 in that
yeah,
range. You got to give it to him. He can shoot. He can
he
give you
he
that
can
3-point
shoot.
shot. He can shoot. That's the best way you can do it because it's part of the game. 3-point shots. But the defense, no. You want to earn that 7.7 mil and up. No.
And the crazy thing is, like, he was like low key playing like okay in the playoffs, but once he did that boneheaded like knee
He from
grab, bro.
Massachusetts, so I think
Yeah,
he's a
right.
Celtics fan.
He a Boston boy too, right?
Yeah,
Facts.
he a op.
Yeah, bro, that joint had me heated, bro. Like
I was
I'm like,
mad as hell, bro. Nah, I was like, who is this boy? Who is this
I'm
boy?
like, what are you? I'm like, bro, like, what did you?
Nah, he changed that like whole
And you try
game.
to act so innocent too, like he didn't know what he was
Yeah,
doing.
like
Nah, bro. Um,
out of pocket.
Paul Reed.
Um, I like Paul Reed. I do think that he's a very good rebounder, especially on the offensive end. He, does know how to get boards, very energetic. And I think that's something that we definitely do need coming off the like for the second unit, because sometimes even like with Embiid, I feel like Embiid's like a good rebounder when he wants to be, but he's not
Mm,
as consistent of a rebounder as I would like for him to be. But with Paul Reed, especially depending on who's going to be running point, he's a good lob threat too, which Joel Embiid really isn't. Yeah, he's a decent rim protector. I feel like that part of his game still kind of needs work, but he's a high energy guy off the bench that can, catch lobs and on things like that. And that's kind of what you really want from your big man that's coming off the bench. And in game one versus Boston, he played relatively well. He hit those 2 free throws to ice the game for us. So I mean, I like Paul Reed. I think he's going to continue to grow his game. I definitely would like to see him be a better defender. And maybe work on some post moves and stuff like that too, to be more of an offensive threat outside of just catching lobs and things like that. But yeah, I like Paul Reed, and I think he's a solid backup for Embiid. I really wish that we could have kept Drummond, who I think just signed a deal with Chicago. I think it was like
yeah,
a 1-year deal or something like that.
for like three
Yeah,
like mil or something. Yeah.
because Drummond is he's a tenacious rebounder, but Paul Reed, he's a good young talented player who I think is going to get better. And we can probably get him for relatively cheap. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
I would say keep him.
Same with me as well. Keep him. I think this gonna be like his year. This summer is supposed to be take it to the next level development year for him as well. Let's see what you can really do. Now you showing the players what you can really do. Now let's see on a consistent basis now from game 1 to game 82 before the playoffs. That's what
Right.
Mm.
really wants. That's what us fans, us as a basketball player that watch the game every day, that sees what the 76ers can do. You got to see that on a consistent basis. You know that we could trust you in the playoffs, not see what he could do. Then, all right, we could trust him a little bit now. Can we really
Mhm.
fully trust him? And plus, he's a pro. We got to see does his game mature. That's what we gotta see. So I think you keep him like you need at a cheap price. Let him see that does like the following couple years does he really deserve this money for what he did in the seasons coming up or no? You know what I'm saying? But I sure keep him. Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
Bring back B-ball Paul.
Mm.
And the last bull on the list is Jalen McDaniels, affectionately known as J Mac. What would y'all keep him on the squad? Which he's probably gonna command probably like 5 mil, I would say, per year
Um,
or
I'm
around
kind
it.
of like I'm kind of on the fence with him, mainly because we traded Matisse Thybulle because he's not really much of a threat on the offensive end. And with Jaden McDaniels, he's a better just scorer in general than Matisse, but Jaden McDaniels isn't
Is
the
he though?
best. I mean, better than Matisse,
Is he
yes.
though?
Better than Matisse, yes.
Uh,
But like in general, he's not, well, in terms of shooting, he's not the best 3-point shooter, and I feel like that's kind of the reason why we made that trade.
yeah.
Um, and I mean, he's a decent defender. A good wing defender, and I mean, I just would re- personally, I would let him walk, like mainly in like
Mm,
kind of for the same reason I would let Shake walk. Mainly because I just feel like we can invest that money in more shooting, and more wing defenders and just like more 3-point threats. And Jaden McDaniels isn't that. We saw his minutes kind of be taken away in the playoffs, especially later in that playoff stretch, especially with Daniel House, who had that one good game um, uh, against Boston. I think it was in Game 5. But yeah, I mean, like he's an okay player. If we can get him for cheap, sure. But I mean, me personally, I'm not high on him like that. But I mean, he's all right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really sold on him. So I would say let him walk personally.
Um, yeah. If you could bring it back like 3 mil or 2.5 mil, like around that range, yeah. But he did okay in the system when he was in Charlotte, but when he got to Philly, it just like we don't know what his game actually is, and I didn't know
Yeah.
either. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really watch how the Hornets play unless they come to Philly. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't really show what we need him to do: play defense and shooting threes. And he did not. He was not consistent on the offensive end, except for the defensive end. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta give us both. You know, you can't give or take. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though like let this man walk. If you get him for cheap, then yeah, as a roster spot and let him earn it in the practice room and in practice and earn it during the season. You know what I'm saying? Until it gets to crunch time. The rotation gets shorter. But it's just like he got to earn them, just like Shake. Where he goes somewhere else as well too. See what we could do. And I feel as though, like you said, now like get a 3-point shooter. We need shooters, man. We need people that could actually score and play defense. That's what we was missing on our bench. Scores. We had
Facts,
D'Anthony
bro.
Melton,
Facts.
but other than him, who do you actually have? Nobody.
That's a
Like
good
that
point.
was our big hurt. We need actually people that could score. Montrezl Harrell, he could score. I don't know what was the issue was.
Yo, I was
You know,
telling Kayin the same thing. I'm like,
I don't know
why
what
is
was it.
Trez riding the bench, bro? Like
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
too good to be riding the bench.
Exactly. He got that dog mentality too, as well. Like if he was playing against the Boston series, man, he would get the
We
crowd riled
needed
up
that. We
every
we needed
time.
that
He
too.
wouldn't match the energy with Jalen Brown. He's a nut. And Marcus Smart,
Absolutely,
he's a nut. Because
bro.
every time they go to Philly, they don't talk that trash. But everywhere else, they want to get riled up. Like, come on, man.
Exactly.
Like, we needed that type of energy. I hope he come back as well, too, man. For real.
Yeah, Doc was kind of drawn by not play. I mean, I feel like the reason why the Heat kind of played Paul Reed over him was mainly for like defensive purposes, but
yeah.
like But like you don't sign Montrez just to have him ride the bench. Like
Exactly, right.
if you were just going to have him ride the bench and just favor Paul Reed because he's a better defender, then why even sign him then? You know what I mean? Like it
Waste
just
of money.
yeah. So I'm just like you don't sign a player like that just to be like yeah
What's the point of
you
giving
ain't
a
gonna
player
get no
option too?
minutes. Yeah. So
It's a shame
no.
too. Well, going back to Trez, it's funny because I remember like before Game 7, there was a video of him being in like MB's ear saying like, "Yo, you like got this, John. Take this game home," and Embiid laid an egg. So that's probably why he like dipped because he's like these these boys is soft.
And
And then
yeah, and he probably don't even know like how much playing time that he's going
he's
to
gonna
get
get.
too. So he's going to want to go someplace where, excuse me, where he's going to get some minutes. So I can't even blame him if he want to leave at this point because like if I was him, I probably would want to dip too. It's like y'all ain't play me in the whole playoffs and everything, and you know what I mean? Like
I think he did too. Like I think he like opted out of his contract.
Yeah, he did. He
Like
opted out his contract. That's why I was saying. What was the point giving a player option?
which is wild because like what does that say if like dude is like opting out?
His value went down. His value went down this year. He should
because
have
he
just
ain't getting no
stayed down.
playing time.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I
saying. His value
mean?
went down. He should have just accepted it. Just accepted the player option. Try to get bounce back for this year, and let's see how really your market really is. But I hope he come back too. Yeah.
But going back to J Mac as well, it's a shame because like we traded like a second round pick as well, in addition to Tease.
We don't got no
So
draft picks.
so like if we let Bull walk, it's as if like we like gave up an asset for nothing. Because
Summer league players.
like Tease was going to probably leave anyway because we weren't going to pay him, but it is what it is. Final segment on the podcast. Thank you all for staying on up to this point. If you have stayed on up to this point, and I forgot to like even ask y'all to make sure to subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the channel as well if you feel so inclined. Um, we got mad content coming out soon. We are back because our mental health is better, according to this team. Um, but yeah, if you didn't know, you should know by now. The Philadelphia 76ers fired Glenn Doc Rivers after 3 years of service. And to take his place, they hired one Nick Nurse, former coach of the Toronto Raptors. You might know him as the guy who always went back and forth at Embiid during the playoffs. And Embiid 1 year affectionately told him to stop bitching. Um, Personally, I liked the hire. I felt as though it was either going to be between him and Sam Cassell. I could see why they wanted Nick Nurse more so, um, because one, he is a championship coach, and two, he's a tinkerer of the X's and O's, which is a thing that the Sixers have never had at the head coaching position, not with Brett Brown nor with Doc. And it like if it like feels as though sometimes in the crunch time of games, the boys need some help play wise, and at the very least, a motivator who is going to kick them in the butt and like cuss them out and not baby them. And it seems like Nick Nurse is like going to be that guy. So I don't have no issue with it. Real quick, Glenn should have been fired after the Hawks series like 2 years ago. There is no way that we lose to Trae Young. There is no way as a first seed in the East you lose to Trae Young in that this despicable playoff fashion, and somehow you stay to keep your job. That's when I was out on Glenn after year one, bro. You know this. I was out on him. Like that, there is no like we saw what this dude did at every single stop of his coaching tenure, And as soon as I saw him like do it against the Hawks live with my team, I was like, nah, bro. But the ball lasted 2 more years. Congratulations to him. Happy retirement, Glenn. Um, but yes, we have Nick Nurse, who I think was the right choice. What are your thoughts on the hire?
Um, I like Nick Nurse. As you just pointed out, he's a former NBA champion. Um, back in 2019, and I think he's going to provide a different look for this team. Even though, like, I mean, I kind of have a different perspective on Doc Rivers. I do think that we did needed. I mean, that we did need a change. In scenery a little bit, just to give us, some new life, just like a new strategy about how we're going to go about, running the offense and scheming and, things like that. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to utilize Embiid and especially Maxi, especially now that Harden's going to be on the way out.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, like he's I think overall a good coach. I think he's going to come up with like a very unique way to use his best players to put them in the best position. I feel like Doc is kind of more so like an old school kind of coach, whereas Nurse is kind of I mean, I guess you could say he's kind of like a new age kind of coach. I know he's a lot younger than Doc Rivers as well, but yeah, I'm just excited to what he's going to bring to the table, and I'm hoping that he can hold his players accountable, and he can get us over the hump to get us out of that second round. So yeah, I'm just really excited to see what he's going to do and how he's going to utilize this team to get us where we need to be.
Um, my take on it, I'm not 100% on this hire with Nick Nurse. My
Mhm.
opinion is different. I feel as though, like I said earlier on the show, they should have promoted Sam Cassell. Trust your farm. You know what I'm saying? That's like the baseball terms, so trust your own farm as well as
Mhm.
trust your own development coach. I feel as though like how Sam Cassell developed Tyrese Maxey game, be more aggressive, turn to a pro scorer, you know, like you need a coach like that could develop guards around surrounded and be even though like Doc Rivers' system was old school, but Sam Cassell was going to develop that into a fast pace around Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and James Harden. He's going to get James Harden to score regardless, because Sam Cassell, offensive minded, is totally different than Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though that there's a reason why Sam Cassell came to Philly alongside with Doc Rivers to get promoted to get the head coaching job at an NBA team. And I feel as
Mm.
though the 76ers was this potential to be this is his team. Because Doc Rivers, I think Doc Rivers was not really going to be here for a long run, regardless. He's not really the answer, in my opinion. It was really Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell's supposed to take over, not Nick Nurse, in my opinion. You know, and you got to be honest. And you can see as well too. Nothing against Nick Nurse, but it's a lot of players, coaches being head people that understands the players, understand the game. They know what's the X and O's they could really fix because they know they've been in that kind of situation. They know it. Sam Cassell won championships as a player. Nick Nurse only won
Yes,
as a
he did.
coach. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference being in the trenches, working every single day, night in, night out, trying to get to that championship potential. Sam Cassell now to play with all-stars, superstars, Kevin Garnett, Hakeem Olajuwon, you know what I'm saying? And he's playing with Kevin Garnett in Minnesota and in Boston. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
Like he been on several different teams. Nothing against Nick Nurse again. You know what I'm saying? He won a chip in the G League, you know what I'm saying, in the finals because of Kawhi Leonard. But let's be honest, you need a player's coach. And I feel as though like
Mhm.
in this type of office, in this environment, like James Harden, Joel Embiid, Doc Rivers played the game as well too. So let's be remembered too. He's an old school player. No matter bring that up. He used to play in the NBA, so he understands the game as well. But Sam Cassell is that new era type of coach. And now since he in Boston, Joe Mazzulla, he better pray that he better not mess up this time, because if you do, Sam Cassell gonna get promoted, and guess what? It's gonna bite his up behind. I'm just saying it now. So
I
remember this
hated when
moment,
he went
y'all.
to Boston. Yeah.
It's a
Exactly.
good take.
Look,
No,
you
true.
know what I'm
He
saying?
definitely did go to right.
When
That's
when I
true.
learned that Boston picked him up, I'm like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah, look.
over.
Yeah, look.
It's
I'm
over.
like,
Look.
Like Joe Mazzulla
bro,
mess up, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna be Sam
Low
Cassell
key.
team, and Sam Cassell team gonna take that team to another high rise. You know what I'm saying? So let's be prepared,
I hear
because
you.
Nick Nurse better be prepared for that moment too. Because if Sam Cassell get promoted this year by the All Star break, whatever case may be, and they put me in the playoffs again, we lose to them. Nick Nurse, Bernie McVoy, you out there.
I ain't never gonna watch another Sixer game ever,
Exactly.
bro. If that happens,
Yeah, man. Embarrassment. Embarrassment. I posted in the Sixers profile when they hired Nick Nurse. They posted him. I said, y'all wrong. Y'all should have promoted Sam Cassell. I said, remember this moment. Fans was attacking me like I'm the bad guy, like I don't know nothing. But it is what it is.
Here,
Facts. 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 Facts.
I think Sam Cassell. Like, I'm not doubting his, coaching ability. I think he definitely clearly be able to coach this team.
It's a
You know,
development though, you know.
yeah,
That's
absolutely. Like, yeah, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know, and I know you kind of like touched on this too. I don't know intensively what Nick Nurse's system consists of. I'm hoping that it can be a system to get the most out of Maxi and out of Joel. So I'm curious to see what he's going to bring. But definitely losing Sam Cassell just off of our coaching staff in general was a big L for the Sixers. And not only did we lose Sam Cassell, but he's going to our division rival. Like, this would be a little different
Or
if he went somewhere in the
daddies.
West. You know what I'm saying? But like he's, you know what I
he
mean?
played
Like
for them too, so it's already been history already. So it's already a
yeah.
wrap.
So it's just like, so I just hope and pray that Sam Cassell really, that Nick Nurse has a plan to utilize his players correctly, and hopefully we can get out this second round. So we just really just gotta wait and see.
The like scheme that I heard that like Nick runs is more so like riding his guys, pause, but more so making big adjustments like when it's needed. He's a let your stars win you games. Like I think he's like known for like being one of the type coaches that like has high player minutes, like of the Tibbs elk, of the Doc elk.
That could play
Um
a role as well too. That could stop players to come to Philly. That play in minutes
mm,
as well. That's probably James Harden saying like. That's what I'm saying. Like it probably plays a role that why he don't want to come back to Philly, because of Nick Nurse, how his system is. He play his players to like 40 plus minutes a
yeah.
game, and his bench players don't touch the floor like that unless you really is a good bench player.
No,
You
Right,
know
you're
what I'm
exactly.
right.
saying? Like that really gonna play a big part in this off season. And I feel that's why I said I don't think that's a smart decision, because you're not gonna really bring anybody. And I think James Harden probably seeing that as well too. But I'm not like quoting him on that, but you gotta see other options as well. How Nick Nurse can coach. It's all about the coach that you bring. Even though he said, "Yeah, I'm aligned with it," but like, is he really
Exactly.
aligned? Like he probably just saying just to pipe your head up, just to see like, oh, he might come back. But like, really,
Exactly.
it's not. It's not as a basketball player mentality types of 82 games playing 40 plus minutes, 82 games.
That's
No,
gonna
bro,
take a
you not
toll.
it takes a toll. You're supposed to do that after the All Star break. Yeah, get your players get ready for okay, playoff time. Let's go. Wrap the time up. Crunch time as well too. Not the
But you're
82
right.
games. You mean? And
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
right.
as though you're gonna lose players. Not even lose players. You're not gonna bring in players as well too because of that situation.
Yeah, and then also like when Nick Nurse was hired, and one of the reporters was like, "Hey, do you want James Harden back?" He was trying to dance around the questions. He's like, "Well, I think James is a good player." He's like, "Bro, that's
That's
not what I
that's
asked you."
that's not what I asked.
Yeah, Howard
You know what I
asking.
mean?
Howard asking.
Yeah,
He
Yeah,
said,
bro.
he
yeah,
said
he an
that
a-hole,
didn't answer the
man.
question. Like,
Like he don't know basketball. You know, he really be talking so much smack. He don't know nothing about the game of
bro,
basketball. He talk about Joel Embiid should not be scoring no threes. I'm like, bro, like he don't know damn way
bro,
no
yeah,
basketball. Like people like him should not be on sports radio.
yeah, he's a
Fact
funny
though.
bull.
Fact though. I was about to say we're talking about like load management, I don't even think like Embiid should like even play that much. Like I feel as though like he should get the Kawhi treatment. Let him rest and let him like be unleashed during the playoffs. Because I don't know how else this man isn't going to get injured going into games. So I would just say, look, give that man a vegan diet and sit his butt down for most of the like year, bro. Because I I I I just don't see how else we can actually get this joint done if Embiid is like playing all these games. It's clear the man is fragile. He should not like. I mean, shoot, even playing at like 7-2, doing what he does on like both ends of the floor, he shouldn't even be able to like do that. So yes, his body is going to take a toll
That's what you gotta get in shape
naturally.
for.
So so
That's
make
why
that man go on a vegan diet, bro.
diet.
Like real
Like he
talk.
gotta be in shape, man. Like this how
If you're
that's what I
going,
was saying earlier. Yeah, my fault, bro. Like
no, it's cool.
yeah,
No,
like it's
it's cool.
Joel Embiid, like in his the type of game that he run, if he be in shape, he can score a game easily. Easily. It's not people say he need to go to a rack, like be aggressive and all that type of stuff, but he gotta be in shape. He gotta play them type of minutes as well, too. That's why he getting so injured so quickly because he's not being the right fit, not being the right diet as well. Like like this past 2 years, he wasn't in shape. I think COVID, when he had that COVID for a whole month, I think that kind of messed him up.
Mess him up, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I feel as though like that's when he took that month off. He couldn't do anything. He wasn't like really healthy during that time. That's really took a toll on him as well. But that was a year, like 2 years ago, which he was doing the off season as well too. I think there was a video posted where he was doing at the Wells Fargo Center with some Fanatics event. He was looked like he was in
For those
shape, but
kids, yeah. I ain't trying to hear that,
yeah,
bro.
I'm not. I need
I,
you need to show me you in shape, like
during
tone
the
up,
season,
body muscle up, like be like Shaq, man. Like this is his league now, and he an MVP. Now this is your year. You gotta show like you an MVP for a reason, man. Jokic is like proving you wrong, bro, and proving everybody else wrong. Like and be not better than Jokic. And I guess I gotta say it. He's not, man.
he the boy not like
He's
I can't
not.
even.
I hope
This is
this
bad,
motivated
bad,
him. The
bad job,
championship
bro.
season, I hope this motivated him. Like, yo, he don't deserve that chip. I deserve that.
But
He better have it.
I can't even say that like it will motivate him, bro. Like that, like that's like where like I'm at as a fan. I feel as though him going out like a bum on
Right.
game 7, like laughing with Tatum after the game. Get he, this like boy gave Celtics players encouragement as if like he been to the chip. Like what? Yo, nah, bro. Like I I just feel as though MB like he showed that like he don't give a damn. No, he's still God given talented. I like can't take that from him. And like when you are God given talented, anything can occur. I ain't saying that like it's not possible, but like it's clear like this man was laughing at the end of game 7 going into the like after game press. Like I I just don't think Embiid has that in him, and it's only going to get harder for us to win a chip. So like we'll see, bro. Like he's I would obviously still rather have him on my team than not, but I'm calling a spade. I like spade, bro. Like MB, like he don't care, bro. He don't care.
Yeah, he got to care, man. Especially this year. You show like you're an MVP, man. I feel as though like us as fans, we deserve an NBA chip. We got the Super Bowl. That we was happy on that, but now like an NBA chip, like we deserve it because
Absolutely.
we seen the process for a long time, you know. And I feel as though like we got a player that could take us to the promised land. Now we gotta get players surrounded by him, And this it starts with the leader. All the leader got to do get in shape, be more aggressive, tone up, get much bigger. You know what I'm saying? And have that dog mentality. We can't get nobody get on your behind just to have that dog mentality now, man. Like do it for your son. You know what I'm saying? Your son motivates you. Do it for your son, man. Show him that, like, listen, man, I've been rocking these dudes for years, man. I'll be killing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now it's time to get a ring. You got MVP. Now it's time to get a ring. Stop playing around. Your prime year is about to be over in the next 2 to 3, 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So we got like enjoy this moment now, get involved. You know what I'm saying? It just starts with him getting in shape. It starts with him getting in shape.
Word. Well, I think that is a perfect way to end the podcast, which is our longest one to date. It's all good. If you have if you have made it to this point, appreciate you. Once again, we will be putting out more content as the summer continues to go along. Is it just me, or like the the summer hasn't felt like the summer, bro? Like my Poppy store, right? These bulls don't even sell water ice no more, bro. Like what is this, dog? Like it's like it's like cold, it's like rain, and there's no water ice. I don't know, dog. But
It's definitely weird for sure.
yeah, and also real quick, going back to the team, leave my man's Tobias alone, dog. Like obviously the man is overpaid. We all know that, right? It's not his fault that these white corporations paid him 40 mil. Let the
No
brother
facts.
get his bread. We all know, but like once again, just like he said, you are not going to find another player like him at the value that we got him for. He is, I would argue that he is the best fourth option in the league.
That's fair.
Now, I wouldn't pay him 40 million, but like
Well,
I don't
clearly,
I
clearly.
I think we have more bigger issues on this team than Tobias's contract. I'll say it like that. There are bigger issues on this team than like blame than blaming him and his contract. It's an issue, I agree. But his $40 million contract ain't full game 7. If anything, he had the like most points on the team that game. So like, what are we saying here, bro? Real quick, I hate the fact that like we still baby our superstars. Like it comes down to star players on the on the floor, coaches too, obviously. But at the end of the day, Jason Tatum scored 50 on who? Glenn? No, like come on now, bro. Like, it's okay though. It's okay. Hopefully this year my team will prove me wrong. They probably won't, but that's why we watch the games. I want to thank everybody I want to thank everybody for pulling up, listening to 3 Bulls talk about their favorite basketball team of all time, the Philadelphia 76ers. I hope y'all learned something. If you have not done so already, make sure to subscribe. And we will talk to y'all next time. Appreciate you for pulling up, Brad. Appreciate
For
you, dog.
sure. I'll have to have you come to that next time, man. Let me know.
We will talk to y'all, I assume, next week. Until then, stay safe. Peace.